Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in real life, you know that there comes situation when we need to make some decisions. And based on these decisions, we decide what should we do next, right? Similar situation arises in programming also, where we need to make some decisions and based on these decisions, we will execute the next block of code. Decision making statement in programming language decide the direction or flow of the program execution. So let's see some decision making statement in Python. First we have if statement, then we have if else statement. After this we have nested if statement, and at last we have if else ladder. Let's see each one of them in detail, starting with if statement. If statement is the most simple decision making statement and it is used to decide whether a certain statement or block of statements will be executed or not. That is, if a certain condition is true, then the block or statement will be executed, otherwise not. So let's see how to use if statement. So here I will write a simple code using if statement. So first I will write if. We can either specify true or false here. So first I will write true here. If the condition is true, then the block of code will be executed. So here I will write print statement 1. That's it. Executed. And here we got the output statement 1. If I change this to false, then it won't execute the block of code. So I will execute it, and you can see that the statement 1 is not printed. But what is this block? So here if I write print, and here you can see that we got the output as statement 2. Why? Because it does not belong to if block. So here in Python we use indentation to define a particular block, and basically indentation is the spaces. We can either use one space or two spaces or any spaces. Here I am using four spaces. So if I want multiple statement inside the block, I have to also use four spaces here. Then I will execute it. And here you can see that this block of code is not executed because the condition is false. But if I change this condition to true, then it will be executed. And we got the output statement 1 and statement 2. In general, we don't write true or false here, right? We basically check the condition here. For example, if I want to check a number that whether this number is even or not, so here I will define a number x equals to 9. Then here I will write a condition. So I will write x reminder 2. So it will be an even number if the remainder is 0. So I will write double equals to 0. So if this statement is true, then this particular block of code will be executed. So I will just remove this, and here I will write even number. If x is the odd number, that means here the condition will be false. Then this block of code will not be executed. So run this code. And here you can see that nothing is printed on this screen. So if I change this 9 to 8 here, and we got the output even number here. While using if statement, if the condition is true, it will execute a block of statement, and if the condition is false, it won't. But what if we want to do something else if the condition is false? So here comes the else statement. We can use the else statement with the if statement to execute a block of code when the condition is false. First, it will evaluate the expression. If the expression is true, then it will execute the body of that if statement. And if the statement is false, then it will execute the body of the else statement. Now let's see how to use the if else statement. Here I will write a code to check whether the given number is an even number or odd number. So first I will write x equals to 10. Then I will use the if block. If x reminder 2 is double equals to 0, then print that it's an even number. I will write the else block. So the block of code inside the else will be executed if this condition is false. So here I will write else it is an odd number, execute it, and here we got the output even number. So instead of defining the value of x, I want to take the input from user here. So here I will write int input, enter the value, that's it, execute it, enter 70 here, and here you can see that we got the output even number. Run this again. Here I will write 75, hit enter, and we got the output odd number. So let's see how it works. So first we will write the if word. After this we will write the condition. If the condition is true, then the block of statement will be executed. But if the condition is false, then the block of else statement will be executed. Next we have nested if statement. A nested if is an if statement that is the target of another if statement. That means an if statement inside the another if statement. Let's see the flow chart. Here we have the first if statement. If the condition is false, then the body of the else statement will be executed. If the condition is true, then the block of if statement will be executed. So inside this block of if statement, we have another if statement. If the condition is true, then the body of nested if will be executed. If the condition is false, then the body of the nested else will be executed. Now let's see an example and understand this in detail. So here I want to check one more condition, whether the number is less than 50 or not. So here I will write inside this if block, I will write if x is less than 50, then write print less than 50, else print greater than 50. Execute it, and here I will enter the value 60 here. So here you can see that we got two outputs, that is even number and greater than 50. Now let's see how it works. So here we have first if statement. If this statement is true, then the block of the code will be executed. So inside this if block, we have another if block. So if the condition is true, then the block inside this if will be executed. Otherwise, the block of else will be executed. Now let's see what is if else ladder. So it is basically the if elif else statement. The elif is the short for else if, and it allows us to check for multiple expression. So if the condition for if is false, then it checks the condition of the next elif block and so on. And if all the conditions are false, then the body of else will be executed. Remember one thing here, that only one block among the several if elif else block is executed. And the if block can only have one else block but can have multiple elif blocks. Let's say an example. Here I will write a code to print different messages for the number that are divisible by 2 and 3. First I will create a variable x and I will take input from the user here. So I will enter the number. So here I will write my first condition, that is if x is divisible by 2 or not. So if x module 2 is double equals to 0, then I want to print that x is divisible by 2. So to check another condition, we will use the else if, that is elif block. So we write elif check if x is divisible by 3 or not. If it is divisible by 3, then I will write x is divisible by 3. Else, if both of the conditions are false, then I will print x is neither divisible by 2 nor 3. Execute it. Enter the number. Here I will enter 7. and we got the output, that is x is neither divisible by 2 or 3. Let's trace the program. So first we will take the input from the user, that is 7 here. Then it will check the first condition. So here 7 is not divisible by 2, that's why the condition is false. So this block of code will not be executed. Then it will check another condition, whether 7 is divisible by 3 or not. As this condition is also false, then this block of code will not be executed. Here both of the conditions are false, that's why the block of else statement will be executed. Here I will execute it again, and now here I will enter 15, and you can see that we got the output x is divisible by 3. That's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new. If you have any questions or feedback, use the comment box below. See you in the next video.